Welcome back. I disappeared, but I'm still there. Camera has been giving us some issues. I'm joined by Jojo now. What's up, Jojo?
Hello.
Welcome to race 5, I think this is, of the Any Percent tournament by GSA. Super Mario Odyssey is the game. Today we have, not today, but this race we will be having Sefaro versus Dray33. It's going to be a pretty exciting one. Sefaro's PB is, and let me lie here, I think it's a 103. Is it yet, Sef?
Not yet.
Not yet. It's a lowish 104, right? 104.6. Okay, and race is, as far as I know, 106.
18, 106,
18. All right. As you guys already heard, we do have both runners with us right now in this call, so we can have some pre-race thoughts on them. Seth, how you feel about this one?
Not sure. It's weird. I definitely know I can't mess around too much because, you know, Dray's obviously a good runner. There is like 2 minutes in separation, but like considering he's on 1.2, I know he has a better late game. So I'm gonna have to keep that together.
All right. And Dray, how are your thoughts going into this?
Just trying to, not take it too seriously. Sefaro's obviously got a lot of time save on me. 2 minutes better on the PB. So I just need to I'm just trying to buckle down and have a good run, make it a good race.
So the meme hasn't died yet. Nobody actually failed wooded route yet. I don't know, Dray, are you doing the nut clip wooded route?
I have not added nut clip yet, no.
You have not added it. That might obviously be a big difference that might save Seth a lot of time, but at the same time might actually hit him quite hard depending on how it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously wish you guys the very best on that. But yeah, I think from our side we are ready to go into this next race. So best of luck to you boys.
All right, thank you.
Get your countdown.
Thank you.
And see you on the other side.
All right, I'm pretty excited for this race.
I think, no joke, this is probably going to be the closest one we have yet. In terms of like what can happen. I think every race so far, let me actually think about PB, has been quite a bit apart. And when I say quite a bit, around like 8-ish minutes, maybe even. Like the discrepancy between the two. But this time, those 2 minutes almost they don't really mean much in a race.
No, especially not for like an hour-long speedrun, anything can happen.
For sure. And yeah, wooded being a big one. I've been getting memed on. People said, I think you can't even mess up wooded because no one actually does it until that one race where someone will actually fall down into that deep woods. And
exactly.
then everybody will realize how big of a thing it actually can be. But yeah. Actually, George, let me ask you, cap, we have seen a lot of cap. We know what happens in cap. You can save a little time. Rhea just last race had a 220. But I think it's a decent time to use to ask you, actually. I've been talking much to you. Are you in this community like at all? Are you actually running yourself?
No. I actually signed up for a commentary here because like I told Ari, I told Milo I was pretty much I did a lot of commentaries for like small SM64 tournaments. And he got feedback from some other members of the community, the SM64 community, that like, yeah, Jojo is a pretty good commentator. And so I was like, so if you need a commentator, I'm here. And I've been watching a lot of Icrovita, so I know some shit about this game. So you mean?
Definitely. Like, I think this speed game has been very popular. By the way, guys, don't worry. We were just syncing up the streams right there. I don't know if Dray actually started late or if it's just stream delay that caused that, but we want to obviously show you guys some sync. Sefaro will not be like, actually, wow, that sync went really well. Timer synced up too now. Very good stuff.
Yeah, perfect.
So I don't think you don't. That's what I've been saying all the time now. Since obviously we want to give new people a chance to at commentating. I don't think you need to play that game that much. You need to be like a top player to commentate races at all. Especially with how much knowledge is out there about the game. There's huge resources. There's obviously big streamers that play the game a lot. And yeah, I mean, when it comes down to experience, there's some stuff that you probably experience as a runner, like specific stuff. For example, wow, this part of the game usually lags, it makes me drop an input. That's something that obviously might help a commentator when he plays the game. But other than that, you can observe pretty well what's happening on the screen. For example, the difference that Sefaro actually missed left side.
Yeah, missing left side there. So that's going to be losing him time over Dray, because Dray went for right side, I believe.
No, he went for left side, and I think he either didn't get the triple, or he just unintentionally like long jumped on top of the top hat. So I was like, okay, he's definitely gonna be a bit behind. But yeah, bonking on left side, I think loses around 5 seconds. And the thing is, left side is a very convenient time save to have if you actually get it. But if you miss it at all, you will be losing time over right side. And these are like terms that you guys might not all be familiar with, but you can actually get access that. The normal way would be to access that boss fight going to the right side at the cap tower, but you can make that pretty hard and pretty specific jump to the left to save, I think, around 2.5 to 3 seconds.
Yeah. And like, especially in races, I see people normally going more for a right side, since it's more consistent and it doesn't lose as much time, while left side makes you lose 5 seconds or so, or like 3 or something. You said.
Yeah, depends on how it goes. Can even be worse.
Yeah, but on a run, like it's only 2.5 minutes in, so you can just reset if you miss it, for example.
Yep, that's a very good call. Races actually can be quite different. For example, seeing something right here, FMS, huge time save, and since it looks like Sef gets a second try here, he will still be saving a lot of time with it. This is actually a run-on version differences. Dray is, I think, as far as I heard, actually, I don't know if he's on 1.1 or 1. He's on 1.2, probably.
Yeah,
he might be on 1.1, which is a very hard to access accessible version. 1.1 still allows you to swing slip and turnip clip, but doesn't allow FMS. 1.2 basically doesn't allow any glitches other than it actually allows nut clip and scoot clip. But it's a bit confusing, but that will be a big lead for Sefaro leading into even with missing FMS first try there. And yeah, we will be having 3 live proof screen captures. Let me go over them real quick and over the mechanic. I like to do that every race just to keep you guys updated. This is a pretty serious tournament. We want to assure that this gameplay is live. So we have a huge pool of moons that we pick random every race before a run. We choose moons that are suitable to take screen caps in where not too much intensive gameplay is happening after. This time we will be having the fish, the pillar moon in seaside, in lake, the rock moon in wooded again, since this is random, and also the maze moon in wooded. As a backup, we have this shortcut moon in
seaside. Yes. So players will take screen captures when they're at the moon to ensure the gameplay is live and there's no splicing / cheating. Exactly.
Very important that this is done. We don't expect anyone to cheat. We don't want to throw shade at all. It's just to ensure. That's just how a professional tournament should be.
Yep.
And yes, since Sefaro did do the FMS at the start, he will be getting this moon. I think he's not going for chest, but I think I heard him talk about it. Maybe he's not gonna add it yet. It's a small time save, saves around 1.5 seconds. It's not too hard to get though.
Yeah. Right,
and yeah, you see the difference right there. Sefaro already hit the globe, and Dray clearly came out on top in cap. And yeah, that's just what FMS does.
Yeah, it saves a lot of time. But both players finishing up the first Kingdom after cap here. Gonna be heading to... What was it again? Sand, exactly. Sand is also like a pretty dodgy stage, right?
I think like on the highest level of gameplay right now, Sand is probably the hardest kingdom in the game next to Wooded. They might be close. Luncheon also pretty close. But if you go full strats on Sand, which means you do double clip, You do Dram, you do nodes at the end. It's probably the hardest stage. And even if you do basic strats, it is very, very hard. I'm very sure Sefaro uses clipping here, and he's probably going to go for single clip, which is definitely, if you swing slip at all, it's definitely the best version to go for in a race, because getting double clip in a race can be so scary. You can lose like 30 seconds at swings alone.
Yeah. All right. We see Sefaro rolling up to get the moon on top of the little tower there, while Dray entering sand now.
Not a big lead at all yet.
No.
There will be routing differences here, though, since Dray is not going to be able to. And with his time, that's a pretty top tier time for a pretty good time for 1.2. He's probably, I'd assume, he's going to get the bird right here. Yeah, that's what he's going to do. And he probably, on a level like him, I would assume he's just not going to do swings at all. He's not going to talk to her. He's not going to clip or anything. He's probably going to skip her entirely and instead get nodes, which makes it so that he's going to be very short on coins, but he can instead just go to seaside first, lose that bit of time. But talking to swing is actually way slower than doing the route that he's going to be doing. He might go to swings, be safe, get coins. We've seen people do that. It's a bit slow, though.
Yeah. Yeah, because people get coins on the swings to buy moons later in the game, which is actually important.
Oh,
ooh,
no. The Dram classic mistake.
But missing the moon, that's going to cost him a bit of time.
Actually, way more than it seems. The thing is, if you miss Dram alone, it already loses a lot of time. Dray might actually have a pretty good chance of getting pretty close to Seth, because his bullet bill, I don't know if he's going to be able. Yep, he's probably not going to be able to manipulate the bullet bill in the way he wants to. If the bullet bill crashes for Seth here, and it does, and if Dray gets that Dram, he's going to be ahead after this moon.
Ooh, and Dray gets it, so...
I might have spoken a bit too early, though, because obviously Sefaro already had that crate open. That's something I actually forgot. The crate cutscene costs you like around 6 or 7 seconds, so that was kind of an early... Wait, what happened there? Wait, I don't understand. I don't know if did he unintentionally leave the bullet bill?
I think that might have been what happened there. Yeah.
Wait, maybe he unintentionally left it. That was really weird. That usually I'm very confused. Okay. Yeah, Dray is just going to skip swings entirely. Actually, Dray is going to be having a very big lead now. I mean, not very big lead, but a bigger lead than we expected here. He's going to get the shifting Sands Moon, and Sefaro is going to need to swing slip now. But Dray is done with that section. He can just go... He won't go to the swings. He will go to seaside first later. And yeah, he's pretty much done. It depends how good the single clip goes here for Sefaro, on how much he might be behind. Gets it third try, that's still totally fine.
Alright, so Dray taking the lead here. Gonna be using a bullet bill to pop open the crate, and then recapturing another one to go to the little top of the pillar.
Exactly.
Gonna be grabbing some coins there as well.
50 is what that chest actually gives you, which is a lot. You will see a huge coin difference though. So Sefaro is at 129 coins. And so let's see what Dray is actually going to be looking at. So he needs at least 100 coins leaving the stage. So he needs to pick up 3 in Lake, which is no problem. You pretty much get them automatically just from the Rango fight. But you want to have those 100 coins, because otherwise you can't buy the moon and wooded, which is a big oof, to say the least. And that's actually a pretty low coin count, so what he might do, which is something what I've seen some 1.2 runners do, if you're on 1.2, the game is obviously in the most recent version, and Nintendo has been adding those little hint arts to the game, which is like a pixelated version of Luigi. And in the pool in Metro, there's actually one of them that gives you 200 coins, so he might just get that instead, and then still do snow first. Very good notes, actually, for Dray.
Oh, yeah. That's actually kind of smart, how you grab like hints that Nintendo put in the game on a later version.
Yeah.
To grab yourself more coins.
Yeah, the longer categories are all ran on those versions because it allows you. Wow, okay, Sefaro's still getting the bird. That's huge. But yeah, Dray probably looking around at even it might be even like a 30-second lead coming, like ending this kingdom, which is really good. Nothing at all though doesn't really mean anything in the scale of a big race, especially with Wooded maybe giving Sefaro a big advantage.
Yes, because Sefaro is able to do more clips, right? In Wooded than Dray.
So the Wooded clip is possible on both versions, but Dray mentioned earlier before the race that he does not do it. It is a very specific rhythm you need to do your inputs into, even clip into the wall. It's pretty precise. You need to practice it a lot. And actually, even when you get the clip, that part of like the movement that comes after is probably the most risky one and hardest, like in the run. Especially if you want to be fast in it. We still haven't seen yet why it can be so punishing. We will see it once. I promised everyone, but it will happen. But yeah, so Sefaro, interesting stuff happening in sand right there. Might have been nerves, might have just been a dropped input sometimes. Those happen sometimes. Still not a big deal. Lake probably won't change anything as far as the race go. Like that's not expected that the pace of the race changes in Lake. But Wooded is the one we want to be looking at.
Yep. Yeah, Lake is a pretty straightforward stage. Get some moons here and there. Some quite simple jumps. Oh, Sefaro actually missing one of the quite easy jumps. Falling down.
Oh. The thing is, if you want to be optimal, that jump is not that easy. Wow, he's really getting bullied by the Goombas there too. Like that jump seems easy, but if you want to play it optimal, you need to jump in a specific angle to be able to dive after the cap throw. And yep, Dray taking his first required capture there. That's very good. I hope Sef, and I wouldn't blame him much because he's really getting hit hard by the game right now.
Yeah.
Is gonna be thinking about the capture. Like I can probably understand that he's like quite a bit nervous right now, and it might be hard to think about it. I hope he doesn't forget.
All right, so we see Dray in the fight with Rango. Quite a straightforward fight. I believe you just backflip 3 times and you beat him.
Basically, yeah. Let's see if Sefaro gets the capture here on this moon. Capture taken. That's what we want to see.
Yep, perfect.
And yeah, what I was going to mention earlier, and then a lot of stuff was happening. All of the longer categories actually use the most recent version because the long categories need coins for some achievements and some additional moons. And because of that, 1.2 is just faster. You can't do all of the skips, but it doesn't matter because you have all of those little hinders everywhere, and they give you like 1,000 to like 1,600 coins over the run. And you can't, like, no matter how good you are at skips and clips, they won't save you as much time as getting that many coins that quick.
I see. So yeah, Dray finishing up Lake here, and Sefaro just beat Rango. Gonna be moving on to Wooded now. So this is where we need to watch out. Here's where it goes down.
Let's hope it doesn't go down, at least for Seth. He's he's obviously still a bit trailing a bit behind. That's not a big deal for him yet. Wooded is a stage where you can definitely look to gain a lead over Dray. And Wooded is really hard, no matter what route you really do. The nut clip run just makes it a lot harder. Actually, next capture moon coming up already here. Capture taken for Dray. Nice.
Yep. Right, so Dray gonna be buying a moon here. Pretty straightforward. 100 coins, 1 moon. And then it's going to be moving on to the rest of Wooded, which is where it gets a bit harder.
Exactly. That's pretty much the relaxed section. You get the rock, the bunny, the shop, and then it's going to be scary. So if you don't do the nut clip, the next one is still a bit more relaxing, and we know that Dray won't do it here. He said that before the race. So he's just gonna hit this nut fast, get the moon, and leave. which that's how you usually get that moon. And then he's gonna open that lever on purpose. He also probably won't do the rock clip, which is the second fastest route, another roll cancel clip. It is possible on 1.2, but it's like it's not a coin flip. You can get it maybe like 5% of the time, if even.
Wow.
So something you don't want to be doing on 1.2.
No.
And he's gonna be heading into the sewers.
Oh, that's also gotta be having pretty precise movement if you want to do the sewers right.
Exactly. It is on a very tight cycle. You can't miss anything, otherwise you won't make the fast cycle. And bonking there, so he won't catch the fast cycle. Oh. And this is going to be very interesting from here. So I think Seth might have gotten the clip. Oh, he actually didn't. So now we'll see what he decides on doing. I think like his camera angle was a bit weird. Usually camera angle doesn't do much. We see on Dray's screen why missing the cycle hurts.
Yeah, because he got hit, and that means that he's going to be losing another 2 to 3 seconds, I believe, because he has to replenish his health.
Exactly. So that decision by Sefaro is risky. So he will definitely rely on his consistency later in the run to make up for that. Because usually what 1.0 runners can do when they miss the nut clip, they can use that rock to still clip into the same out of bounds section. It's only around 12 seconds slower than using the nut, but you still easily can save 18 or 20 seconds or something around that. Let's say 50 realistically. But that's still a huge time save if you usually want to get. But I guess he wasn't feeling safe at the moment because obviously he did have some mistakes happen to him earlier.
Yeah.
Just plays it
also
safe.
Also getting hit here in the sewers again. Has to also replenish his health, which loses him time.
So I'm just looking by that. I'm interested by like in terms of your view, how much would you think does that hit lose you?
I would say 2 to 3 seconds, something around that.
And the funny thing is actually, even if you have the backup cycle, that loses like 6. And if you fall down, you can actually lose 10 from one hit. Because that cycle, the fast cycle is very fast, but missing anything in the fast cycle will lose a ton of time. That's why sewers is always so punishing and hard to do, and very hard to learn too.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to lose that much time for such a small section of the game, you know.
Like the refill is 2 seconds, but you obviously need to think about there's like an animation where he actually gets hurt in, and that obviously loses time.
Yeah, and if you get hit high up, you have to fall down.
You fall down, exactly.
I got you.
So, Dray, in my opinion, doing the smart choice, he was going for floor road skip. I said it earlier, very fancy looking trick. Actually only saves 2 seconds. So, smart decision to just stop there. He doesn't want to die, so just takes the flower pot. That's a smart decision in race, in my opinion.
Yeah. Right, so Sefaro throwing the triple jump, barely getting it.
Heading on top of the tower here, grabbing that moon.
Nicely done. He's almost done with Wooded now.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure Dray is going to be fighting the boss. I'm pretty sure he's also, Sefaro is also going to fight the boss. We talked about that there is an additional route that saves around 3 to 5 seconds, depending on how you perform it. Realistically, 3. That you can do over the boss, but we only really see realistically top 10 players to go for it. Like, it also consists of the pipe section, and as I just said, if you make one mistake in the pipe, you lost 6 seconds, or maybe even 10, and there's almost no way that you can lose that much time in a Speedrun fight. So if you want to push for the fastest time possible, you don't fight the boss, but realistically, if you are just a speedrunner and wants to improve his time, not in the top 10, you just fight the boss.
Yeah. I got you. So we will see Dray going to Seaside first, probably here.
That's what I assume, exactly. Actually not sure. I mean, probably it depends. I actually have never timed it. So either what you can do is you can pick up the you can pick up the hint art that I've talked about earlier, or you can go to Seaside first.
I see. So it kind of depends on what you want to do.
Exactly. I don't know what is actually faster. Well, anyways, so I don't know if anyone looked at the time difference between them. Dray having some issues in the sewer section, also losing quite a lot of time actually on Flower Road skip. Sefaro, and now that I think about it, it was probably the right choice for him to just go with the old road. He was probably a bit shaky, he wasn't maybe feeling too well about his gameplay there. So just going for the old road probably turned out better for him.
Yeah. But do you think Sefaro has caught up some seconds?
So, looking at it right now, so now, yes, probably.
Yeah,
because Dray actually just missed the second phase. That's assuming, obviously, Seth gets a good fight, but he definitely made up, I think, a little time. I think he was like 35 seconds or something behind entering Wooded, or even 40, I think. And it looked to be like 28, 20... Oh, someone actually said 25 in chat, so 25 seconds. So he actually did make up quite a bit of time. Yeah. And that's mainly because of the way Dray failed sewers, which was way more punishing than Sefaro. And obviously also Flower Rose with 2 missed attempts. And then taking the flower path obviously adds up.
And also missing the cycle here on the
it's gonna even change more now. We can usually time at the cutscene skip, which I missed right now, but we saw the lost screen at 23:05 for Dray there. Let's go and skip the cutscene. Probably only looking at around 15 seconds now.
Wow. So how punishing exactly is missing a cycle on the Bowser fight there?
So depending on which phase, how many heads he puts down. But I think the second phase might be around 10. So pretty much makes total sense. Was 25 behind at the start, now looking to be like
around 15.
Maybe 16, 17 is what people just said in chat. But yeah, catching up quite a bit here. Yeah. Exciting to see after a very interesting sand. But that's what you want to see. And lost Monkas being a big one. You can lose obviously a ton of time with mistakes and lost.
So coming into Lost here, they're actually pretty close. I'm excited to see where this goes and who's gonna come out on top here.
So the thing that we really don't want to see is any klepto shenanigans. We've talked about it. This entire route is based around not getting your head stolen. Both already activated kleptos, so they should be fine unless they die. Because then actually Klepto Zone gets reactivated. But both actually looking at a pretty clean loss so far. No major mistakes.
Ooh, Sefaro throwing his hat around.
Okay, what Zeph just did there is maybe a minor mistake. You can actually make that. You can make him hit that rock without taking damage. But other than that, a very decent loss on both. We might see a strat variation here. I don't know if Seth goes for triple jump cage. Dray just went for the stone cave version. Looking at it, Seth might also just get that. And Dray avoiding the death too, which saves around 2 seconds. Also saves some coins, which he might actually not need. Because now that I think about it, he only has 20 coins. It might not even be enough even with Seaside. Like, he might still be close in snow. So it's probably just best for him to ground pound the hint art in... Metro.
I gotcha. Yeah, because he's low on coins, and it's going to be hard for him to get all those coins in Seaside.
Exactly. Well, that is still a pretty close race, and a lot of stuff coming up in Metro Kingdom. There's gonna be especially the Mecha Wiggler fight, and then obviously the move in the Kingdom alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Mecha Wiggler is also very punishing if you miss a cycle there. I believe it's around 25 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the specific timing. People have been throwing around anything between 25 or 30, but there's no backup. That's the thing. Like, you will lose that time. You can't react to it. Like, once you made this mistake, you lost that time immediately. And I was about to say exactly that. I really don't like diving or long jumping in that moon. You can just cap dive, and then you can't actually bonk at all. So Seth might pull ahead here. Let's see what strat he uses. So he actually decides to long jump too. Risky actually synced.
They're synced. Wow. So Dray falling down has actually cost him the lead here. Or, well, almost the lead. They're in sync. Oh, that Goomba bounce did it.
Yeah, I think his Goomba bounce was not how you wanted to. You can actually dive on top of that Goomba to bounce and not... you don't need another cap throw. But it's only a minor time save. So this is super close heading into City. I really don't want any one of them to fall here or get a 3-cycle because we want this to be as close as possible.
Yeah, that would be exciting to see. So this Mecha Wiggler is where it's going to be dependent on.
This is where it's at. Actually, shoutouts to this moon. This is the moon where we found Moon Clip with, unintentionally, by Robin Cyrex Circle, the biggest glitch hunter in our community. My boy made it work consistently. But this is the first moon someone Moon Clip with. And yeah, Moon Clip actually enabled the top level scene to grow so much in the last months.
Yeah, with the new wooded droughting and such.
Yeah. Big discovery. And yeah, Wiggler coming up. Pretty much first phase done, synced again.
Yeah,
literally synced. I think Cappy actually disappeared on the same frame.
Wow.
Yeah, 3-cycle coming up. Very, very scary now. So yeah, looking at this, they are really synced. Like, the laser basically became red at the same time. And looking, now you will see the difference in patterns. That's gonna be interesting. Wait. Did
they...
Are we looking at...
Are we looking at the same patterns? Wow.
I'm so confused. Dray might actually get a 3-cycle. Did he save that? Nice. What? They literally got the same Wiggler.
They got the same cycle, and they're still in sync with that.
Dude, I was so confused. I was like, oh, maybe they're actually not synced. Maybe we are just looking at the same. We are just looking at the same screen. But if you guys don't know, that pattern is actually RNG. I mean, there is a few patterns that can happen, but a huge amount, and they actually got the exact same pattern. The exact same pattern. I can tell you guys the chances of them, but I've never seen that personally in a race. Sick stuff, dude. Entering day at the same time, Metro day at the same time. So, as Sefaro would say in his chat, show me some bless RNGs for the Scoot clip coming up right here. Scoot clip is a trick that can obviously lose you a lot of time.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's when you clip into the cage with the moon, using the scooter instead of using the RC.
Exactly. I don't know. I'd assume with the 106 that Dray's probably going to be going for Scoot clip too.
No, he's getting the RC. But Sefaro getting it nicely done.
Yeah, it kind of goes to show if you do it fast, pretty much that's how you like here. Pretty good. I really like when races are close, because it goes to show how much a trick actually can save. And yeah, this trick isn't even like Dray's Seeker was pretty good, but Scoot clip is pretty sick strat to save time with.
Yeah, and also because you're not like you don't end up like at the back of the racetrack, you end up at the front, so you can instantly move up to the house to get the trash moon.
Exactly, so we might see a small difference here again. I don't know if Dray does the new optimized musician's route or if he's gonna warp from here. He's gonna be warping from here, which actually loses you a bit of time. Seth did kind of... He didn't bonk at the chest, at the crate, and the taxi was kind of in his way. But he might probably still save around 0.5 seconds with the way he did the musicians here. I don't know if you've recently been watching any streams, but it has we found out that it's actually faster to get those musicians early instead of getting them at the end, so we can warp out of a sub room at the very end of the kingdom.
Yes, I have heard about that. I've seen it being done. And so Dray is looking to not go for that route.
He's not doing that route. He already can't do it anymore. Sefaro did bonk twice already though, so it's gonna be interesting who's actually gonna be coming out on top at the end.
Yeah.
We will only really see that at the globe. Like, and up until the globe, they will be having totally different gameplay on their screen. Like pretty much until the last warp. And yeah, that was the Luigi hint art that Dray just ground pounded. It gives you 200 coins, so he's super rich now, and it is very fast. There's a faster strat. You can just dive towards that moon he got. But yeah, just getting that hint out there, getting 200 coins.
All right, so it's going to be very interesting, as you said, to see who's coming out here at the end of Metro.
Yep.
So Dray doing the secret area with all the people walking. He's going to be getting 2 stars here, 1 at the end, and then 1 like above on a rating.
Imagine stars. Hope. I mean, yeah. But anyways, I was going to explain the live proof screen capture again. People have been asking about it. It is pretty much, if you guys know the Nintendo Switch, you can take screen captures, and we have a big pool of moons where we choose randomly before every race, and you take a screen capture during that moon cutscene. It's 3 seconds where you can do whatever you want. There's no gameplay happening, so you can press that screen cap button, and it's going to show up on top of on the left. It's going to show up top on the left side on the screen, so we know, okay, this is actually live gameplay at the moment.
Exactly. So we're going to see Dray doing the musicians now, while Sefaro has already done those, so he's going to be doing the secret area moons now.
Yeah, and it will soon show who is actually ahead after this. Someone asking in the chat, I'm quickly going to answer that. If you forget any moons at all, you will get a chance of a backup moon, and Sefaro actually did forget the 3rd capture in the maze in Wooded, so he will have a backup capture and C-set coming up that he can take to avoid a strike. If you get a certain amount of strikes, you will be disqualified from the entire tournament, so definitely want to get those backups, and if you miss them, the strike is there, so definitely try to remember those. It will be kind of second nature at some point. People will get used to it. It's how things work at GSA. We don't tolerate any cheating and splicing at all, obviously.
Exactly right. That would make wouldn't make it fun. So Sefaro actually coming out on top here, outside, getting out of Metro, going into Seaside, I believe. And we see Dray moving to Snow.
Did he go to Seaside?
He might be going to Snow. I'm not sure.
No, he went to Snow. I mean, it's usually people go to Snow because it's just the first option. I didn't keep track of his coin code though, but he does have 135 coins, so he will be able to buy the moon. Dray also at least has like 200 coins or something because of the hint art, so he's definitely going to be able to afford the moon. Another big difference that we might see here is Snowdram, and we will see that once they enter Shiveria. If they go for that route or not, which is very scary, very hard, saves 10 seconds if done correctly, but can change the pace of a race. And Sefaro is looking at, so that's a 48 moon tick on Captain Toad. Let me look through here. That's probably going to be 50.
Snowdram, a very risky jump. Gonna be very precise with your movement to make it.
Yep. So Sefaro 11 seconds ahead at Captain Toad Moon, which is 11 seconds is pretty much the time that Snowdram saves. I don't know if either Dray or Sefaro go for Snowdram. I would probably say I'm pretty sure Dray won't go for Snowdram. If you don't do Scoot Clip, for me there's no way that you do Snowdram. It's a way harder trick. So yeah, Dray heading into the shop here, and Sefaro already decided he's gonna do Snowdram. He skipped the shop early, and he has to get Snowdram at the end. So huge chance for him to establish this lead even more, or lose it.
Yeah, because they are like 10 seconds apart, and Snowdram makes the deciding factor there.
Yeah, like literally, if he misses Snowdram once, Dray gains like 15 seconds immediately. Or like, let's say, if he misses it once, Dray gains like 10 seconds. If he misses it twice, Dray would be like 30 seconds, and then it goes from there. Once you are committed to Snowdrum, you can't revert. You are forced to do it.
Right, so that's gonna be a bit of a Monka as to see be done if Sefaro is gonna get it or not.
Exactly. So both heading through the sub-rooms right here. Let's see if Dray has any specific strats for that block here. Gets the triple jump, but didn't get as much speed as usual. So
oh actually... no! Ground pounding into the, what is it, lava?
Yeah, it's like poison. But at the same, he didn't get speed, so he wanted to ground. Oh
no!
Poison hurts, dude.
It does.
So that makes it so that Seth actually probably has at least one. Oh my goodness.
Oh no, he fell again.
That's super unfortunate.
Yeah.
I think once I mean, nerves obviously come into the factor too when something like this happens, and this room just gets in your head. So hopefully getting it here. Falling down again, not getting the fastest cycle. That's what he actually tried to do there. You know, he wanted to ground pound to get enough height to go on top to the moon. But,
yeah, but he
didn't really see
the poison.
Exactly, he didn't really see like what was below him. That makes it so that Seth has quite a few. Seth has quite a few attempts.
I see.
On Snowdrum. Like he could probably miss it twice still, which
and
is
we still be ahead.
Yeah, exactly. And we've seen people not only miss it twice, but like 3 times, so Snowdrum is punishing. So, it's gonna come up right now.
Here we go. Do or die for
Don't
Sefaro.
read chat. Whoever's watching right now, don't read chat. Or maybe actually Seth might be trolling. I don't know. Don't read chat anyways. Heading up into Snowdrum. His setup looked a bit to the left, and yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, actually missing it. Really, really big surprise. If you didn't reach it. Let's see if you can get it second try though. That setup looked a bit better. Vector looked good.
Yeah, looks like he's gonna get it. Nicely done.
To be honest, that cap return jump, that rainbow spin, I guess, looked a bit early to me, but that still worked out great. The vector was good. There's a lot of things, like I'm using some weird words right now for some people, but there's a lot of things adding up to this. But he had that, like that was free for him. He could have probably missed it twice or even 3 times because of that of the mistakes that Dray had in Goomba Room. Race is not over at all though. Especially like C-set is going to be more of a relaxing factor. Sefaro, confusing names. Needs to think about the capture there, but other than that, it's a bit more relaxing. But then, I mean, Luncheon, Bowser's, Mech.
Yep. Still a lot of things coming up that could swing the lead over at the other direction.
For sure. Do you have any favorite kingdom, at least in terms of like watching it in a speedrun in this game?
I really like Luncheon. I think it looks really colorful and nice. But I think in like speedrunning, like in the light of speedrunning, like how good the movement looks and all that, I think I really like Seaside.
Yeah, Seaside does have some clean movement, to be honest, if you think about it. And especially if you do that flower reset stuff and so on. But I do agree, just aesthetically and visually, Luncheon is definitely the coolest kingdom with like poly aspects and like all the colors. I use it a lot for like thumbnails and stuff when I create content for the game. It's probably the best kingdom visually. But for me, running it, it's the worst.
Yeah, I've heard Luncheon's been hard.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's been wooded recently because of the nut clip. It can be so punishing. We will see this in a race once, guys. I promise. I'm gonna jinx someone that actually fails there, but yeah. Well, pretty good Seaside from Seth so far. No mistakes. He's not gonna do the flower reset stuff.
I don't think so, yeah.
he usually, like, the player Sef usually goes for safe and consistent strats. He has been adding some harder stuff to his gameplay because he obviously wants to push his time. But yeah, he tends to play it safe.
Right, so going to be getting, I forgot the name of the monster that shoots water, but he's going to be using that to get over to the fish here and to swim around and get some moons. And yeah, so flower reset, obviously it makes sure your flower boost lasts a little while longer, so you don't have to grab that water shooting monster and just use your flower to get over to the fish and capture
so let's see, the capture is coming up right here, and Seth gets the backup capture. That's what I was looking out for. Very nice, at least backing it up there. So captures done for all of them. Gameplay is in fact live. So yeah, Dray is just starting his underwater section. Sefaro is almost at the last moon. This is the one before the last moon. He's gonna go into the tunnel and warp out. And then we might see the relead. It is probably around a minute. Might be a bit less. I mean, it is a bit less. It's like maybe 35. It's hard to tell. I don't really know the timings. Dray even getting the backup moon, dude. He does it all. Getting all of the captures.
Making sure he's live.
He's still there. I mean, with this poison room, probably no one would believe he was splicing. But anyway, happens to the best of them. Still, he's still actually on pretty decent pace. Like, if you think about this, the run overall, there's not too much been happening other than that snow. That obviously was a big hit.
Yeah. Dray's been keeping it together. So I believe there's like a 2-minute difference in PB here, which obviously is very close. But yeah, Dray is keeping his own against Sefaro, who has the better PB.
That is true. So chat probably kept track of the seaside fade out, so they will be able to tell me the exact lead that Sefaro has at the moment.
Please, chat.
If not, we can obviously tell, like, I could probably just back it up and look what they get. Oh wow, Sefaro getting Sol triple jump, which is one of the harder jumps here in Luncheon.
Nicely done.
Let's try. Not a big problem.
So yeah, Luncheon starts you off with a really hard triple jump.
I said that last race. What just happened is that you don't want to roll twice on that surface. Sorry to interrupt you there. But I said that last race, you only want to roll once. If you roll twice, you will roll into the lava.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably losing around 3 or even like 4 or 5 seconds to this because damage refill and those lava bounces, those unintentional lava bounces. So Sefaro did grab the moon, the first moon in Luncheon here at 35. And I think we are, oh no, missing that jump unfortunately for Dray.
Alright, gets his second try.
So Seth is looking at like a 55 seconds lead here, which seems like a lot, still very, very much changeable with a lot of things coming up here. And Meg being the biggest one as always.
Of course.
But then also the small things can add up. Like we've seen people die in Luncheon, especially in Fork's room. You can take damage everywhere and miss a strat or something. Things add up very quick.
Great. So Fork's room, tell me something about it. How hard are the inputs there, the angles?
So it is like in terms of, if you look at other things, like for example, compared with like this scary stuff like Snowdrum in terms of timing and inputs, it's fine. The bad thing about Luncheon is its motion controls. To actually be fast in Luncheon, you can't do normal cap throws, but you do up throws. You throw Cappy to the top.
Right.
And that actually is a motion control input, so you need to shake your controller upwards. But if you mess this up just a little bit and shake a bit to the left, wow. Shout out to Seth. He's showing one of them right there. And the one that he showed there is actually Joy-Con exclusive. There's 2 controllers in this game, and Sefaro is playing Joy-Cons that it's possible to get a down throw on Joy-Cons. For some reason, Pro Controller doesn't let you do that. And that's another instance of a motion control throw. But yeah, those motion controls can mess with you a lot in Forks.
Right, but because if you're a bit to the left or right, you will throw Cappy the whole other direction and you'll miss a fork.
And then if you want to play it fast, most people immediately dive after their throw without even registering what throw they got. And then, oh,
Sefaro bouncing.
Taking a bit of damage, but he has the checkpoint there, which is quite convenient, so he's not going to have the damage refill. Checkpoints also refill your health when you initially get them. But yeah, most people actually immediately dive after their motion control command. And if you dive after a spin throw, you will just bonk and fall, for example. But let's see how this goes for Seth. Not getting the jump at the start.
Oh yeah, missing an up throw there.
Yeah, that still was an up throw, but it was too early, so he bonked and didn't hit the actual fork. But at least gets that moon fine. So no big deal. Just small minor mistakes here over the last seconds in luncheon, but nothing major, nothing big. And turnip clip is another one though that might lose you a little time. It might actually lose you a lot of time if things go very bad. Let's see how it goes for him.
Yeah. So turnip clip, using pan bro to and the turnip to clip through a cage that holds a moon. Who found that clip? Again,
mainly
cheese, right? Or was it?
No. It's called the cheese. It was called cheese skip or cheese clip for a long time because you actually skip the cheese. Like there's actually cheese. There's actually cheese lying around there. And so what?
Wait,
there was no way. There was no way that would have worked in my eyes. The turnip was so far away from the cage. That's really interesting. But yeah, Circle and Minyash, probably both of the biggest like glitch hunters and strat finders, found that clip.
I see.
Wait, there was no way for me that clip would have worked. That turnip was so far away. He literally just jumped on the turnip and clipped him. That's gonna be BTT from me.
So Dray looking to not go for it, getting the lever. So we see Sefaro, I believe getting the triple moon from dropping the big meat into the soup bowl, or capturing it, and Dray trailing behind, about to hit there as well, I believe. Oh, getting the moon behind the mountain first.
Exactly. That's actually a pretty fast moon. Like, usually if we time stuff in Kingdoms as far as routing goes, we mainly at first look into the ground pound moons, because if they are, especially if they're not like in a sub area and there's no loading zones, these are like the fastest moons in general, because you just need to get there, ground pound, get the moon.
Of course.
But yeah, meat capture acquired.
And Sefaro now heading to Spyro, right?
Basically Spyro.
Alrighty.
But yeah, Rune coming up. We are gonna be seeing 2 runes at the same time. Not too exciting if you ask me. But yeah. It is part of this run.
It's a bit of a relaxed era to catch your breath, collect your thoughts, and PB.
Yeah, especially on good places when you are really nervous. Like, it's probably one of the most intense parts of the run, luncheon, you're super glad when it's over, and then you can catch a breath, and then you go into Bowser's, which has mech and stuff, so it's gonna be intense again. And then when you actually when you go out of Bowser's, Moon is gonna be intense still, obviously, when you're on good pace.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and Spyro here just a little break to relax, calm yourself down, and get ready for the final segment of the run.
So I think, if I looked it up correctly, Sefaro is looking at like a 70 seconds lead at the moment, which, and laugh about me, but it's still not a game decider. And actually, should probably keep that private. It's something that happened to Sefaro recently. It is considered quite a big of a meme. I won't see it happen on this run. But actually, I've heard some people, I'm not saying any names, but actually you can die into this dragon. It just can technically happen. And that would cause you to lose like 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Oh, wow.
But we've actually seen that on... world record pace.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Suicide died in this fight once.
Sui.
When he was on world record pace.
Yeah, I can imagine that feeling really shitty if that happened to me.
It is true. Wait, oh, there's a hint out there. That's, for example, that one that just recently got added. Like, Nintendo is still adding those hint arts to the game. But in Ruined, there's another one of those small little Luigis, which is why Dray has like 360 coins now.
Oh yeah,
obviously
I see.
Doesn't give him any benefit, but I guess he's rich. And someone just mentioned a very funny reference here. I think the any percent route, like some dumb route. It probably wasn't 80%. It probably was like world peace, maybe, if even. I have no idea. I remember someone buying a shop moon in a speedrun, which is like the biggest meme because it just has to be so slow. I mean, you pass the shop in Bowser's, but it's so slow. It was probably like at the very, very start when that speed game started to be routed.
Stop flaming Bowser.
But yeah. Well, anyways,
so we see Sefaro moving on to the next kingdom, Chinatown, and
that's the official name, by the way.
Actually,
I mean, no. But I mean, actually, a lot of people have that like as their split name. I really, if you think about it, though, that's a really cool idea. I don't know. Like to have that entire Bowser's Castle theme with the Japanese or whatever Chinese touch. They could have just made it like a dark castle like it usually is, but Odyssey really did a lot of things differently than before. And for example, the Japanese kingdom touch is very nice.
Yeah, I mean, I like the kingdom. It's looking really cool.
For sure. And yeah, Dray starting his Bowser's up right now. Seth went pretty well for him. He's only really one story mode ahead, which that's a lot. But at the same time, now is where it gets really scary. Like shards being the first section that can be very punishing. For example, he might even take damage. Avoids that. Very nice.
And after the shards, of course, mech coming up. Oh
no.
Yeah.
It's getting eaten.
Alrighty, so we got information from the chat saying there's a 1 minute and 1 second difference between the two, with Sefaro being ahead, of course.
That's around what I assumed. Like, those mistakes probably lost him around 7-ish, and he missed that shard too. Wow, actually jumping down. So this shard is not going great for him. Probably looking at around of a like 10-second loss here at least. And something that I'm interested about, since he's on Joy-Cons... Oh, actually, because he didn't get on top of... No, he did get on top of the roof. I think it's a very smart idea to, when you use Joy-Cons, to get that fourth shard with a down throw, but he might not know that straight. Or he might just not do it. I mean, that other strategy was trying to is easy too. He just missed it. It gets weird if you miss stuff, obviously. So his lead definitely shrunk. It's not a minute anymore, depending on how well Dray's shards go.
Exactly. I believe I remember like when the speedrun of this game was being developed, like was in development, like they would catch a pokey, like capture a pokey, the bird, and then just shoot the nose in a hole and get a star.
Yeah, the infamous moon. It looks so fast, right? Because it's just right there. It's literally in the next box. But the problem about that moon is you need to break the crate, a cutscene appears. Then you need to actually activate that moon, a cutscene appears. Then we have 2 cutscenes that are actually very slow. So instead we just get the moon in the boxes after the boss fights.
I see.
I would probably, like, if someone just starts playing this game, that moon would probably still be the best choice for them to get additionally involved. Like, probably that moon. And then there's an additional moon, like that one on the roof is scary too. There's an additional moon that you can get after fighting the mech, where you just throw your cap on the fence and the moon spawns. These are like probably the safest choices to get additionally.
For beginners.
For people that don't really look up really hard strats and just want to run the game. They're really not recommended really to gain speed, but they are probably the safest choices to take semi-fast without a death, basically.
Gotcha.
But yeah, interesting. So, Sefaro, only being 1 boss fight ahead now, which it is quite a bit because Harry does have some cutscenes obviously going with her after. But Dray, I think, also is on. Yeah, he's also on the 2nd phase. So the lead definitely shrunk. We can just time from the moon grab here, the story moon grab. Pretty clean boss fight, by the way, for Sef on that topper.
Yeah, boss fight's looking really clean. I see people missing the hat, and then the hats go everywhere, and it loses some time.
Yeah, that can easily happen. Actually, we saw that last race, and it can get scary too because you lose health. But that was about a 55 moonglap, like theoretically, it might have not been a 55 exactly, but we're just gonna use that as a rough timing. And yeah, unfortunately, not getting the jump on top, losing some time here.
Oh, and no,
that's what
missing the hat.
Basically.
Yeah.
That's still fine. He's gonna have the damage refill because even story moons refill your health, but at the same time, not the worst thing that can happen to you.
All right, let's see. Oh, Dray getting a checkpoint to refill his health instead of getting the moon.
Smart man, because that's surely probably still faster than getting the refill there.
200 IQ strats showing off.
Yeah, but I was looking at like a 50 to low, like 48 times save. What did chat say? So far we had 47.
That's still
that's pretty much. Yeah, that's still a lead for Seth, but Meg can literally erase that in nothing. For example, I had to run like a couple times ago that went into Meg a minute ahead and I didn't PB. But let's focus on Sefaro's Meg now.
Yes, let's see how this goes. I've seen him practice it. Oh, bonking.
Bonking on the first climb attempt. Let's see how well he can back that up. Really not a fan of the backflip climb. That really shows why it can be scary to climb this Meg. It can be hard to, and I myself, I'm doing another climb, but getting the hit at least at the 3rd time, so not losing too much yet, but definitely taking a bigger hit. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, missing the ground.
Missing it.
That's not too big though.
No, he luckily landed on the platform to the right of the glass casing there. If he would have fallen down, that would have cost him more time.
So if you fall down on this phase, it's actually not that bad because the mech is running around and you can't even hit him. If you fall down on that hit that is about to come up though, that's where it gets big and scary. But he gets it. Let's see if he can get back up. Bonking very high. That seems fine. That seems fine. Yep. Gets back up. Spin pounds Harriet. Sloppy climb at the start. Nice mech though. Dray's going for a very quick Spewart hit there. Let's see if he can stay up on top too, because if he can, he probably made up another 15 to 20 seconds here on the mech. And yeah, to D-skip, Moon in general. Bowser head faces. Anything is still possible, actually.
So yeah, this is coming down to the wire here. Of course, Seth with still a
That's
lead.
low. That's very low. That's very low.
No. Falling down.
Damn. When you hit Spewart early, what you really want to be learning is you want to dive towards one of the platforms and then backflip dive up, which that actually gives you enough height to not be that low. He went for the quote-unquote like easier strat where you just dive towards the mech and rainbow spin, but actually climbing up fairly quickly again, which is nice, but still falling, still losing. I mean, he probably lost as much as Seth did on his climb initially.
Probably, yeah, around that. Maybe a bit more, but... yeah, they're basically still in the same time difference as they were before mech. At least around it.
Exactly. So yeah, we did... Last race, we did see the Harriet third mech, which is like the fastest, most recent mech fight. You hit Harriet third. I mean, the name kind of suggests it, but the last hit is so much harder. Like, you need to really snipe Spewart. Your spin pound that you get on top of him needs to be very fast. You need to hit a very precise spot on top of his bubble. Actually, you probably want to aim for the platform on the left to him. But yeah, it is. I guess it is tournament safe for like a top runner. For like the real top, like the top 10 or something, and even that they might still fail it. You really want to practice it a lot before you go for it. It is a time save you can just get though.
How much does it save comparing to the second fastest strat?
Like a second to 2 seconds, so not much. But people like the highest level players go for it. Those seconds mean a lot. Recently. It would probably average it on like 1.5 is what has been thrown around recently the most.
I see. So
Seth getting Moonskip first try, no big deal.
Very nice.
That's not where we see the most time losses on Moon though. Like usually when a run dies in Moon, it's either like dying before you even get to Moonskip, or missing phases in the Bowser's fight, or 2D skipping. Haven't seen a 2D skip fail yet in the tourney.
Don't jinx it.
Yeah, that's true though. So let's see how the fight goes at first.
Alrighty.
Very fast hit, straight for first hit. Always dodging the very useless flames that Bowser is throwing around. Wow, talking for 3 hours in a row is pretty hard. No. So that's actually, in my opinion, the scariest phase out of all of them.
The flame phase?
No, the second phase. I don't know what it is, but recently, literally every high-level runner, and also me personally, has started to have issues with that. I don't know why. It is not like it's very hard or something. It is basically mainly because usually people jump too early. I feel like I don't know why that happened. For me, it just randomly started to happen, and now I've been missing it quite a lot. But Seth got it, so he's fine. Also getting third phase here.
Yeah, looking pretty good. So, gonna see Sefaro moving into the end. Gonna be breaking some boxes with Bowser. And touching the electricity pole thing at the end.
Exactly. So to be honest, like literally the only way, and he can, it's gonna be very close. Like even if he misses to D-skip, the race would suddenly become super close. If he just cleans it here, he's probably gonna be looking at a mid 107 time.
All right.
So let's see. Plays it slow there. You can actually run with Bowser during that, which is obviously faster. But it's in my opinion, it's really smart. That was like literally the only chance he could have lost that run.
Exactly.
If he died there, so he just plays it safe, plays it smart.
Very clean.
Gets it.
So, then we breaking the barrier and going into anime. Sour, please.
Sour, please. Yeah, to be honest, this room actually can lose you a lot more time than it looks like. It is the final section of the game, but you can lose 10, 15, literally by bad shots. Like he, for example, I don't know if he hit a single one of those. I wasn't paying fully attention. He might have hit one. Optimally, wanna hit. One, yeah, optimally wanna hit all 5. But he gets those hits at least fast. Like that pillar was fairly quick, but you can lose time on all of these pillars.
Of course, because falling boulders in the way can break your fire flames and
just miss aiming to Dray also to deep very nicely.
Okay, so hitting the final pillar, going to be breaking the center block, and then he will be closing it out.
Probably looking to be maybe like a 107.30 flat, like just a 107.30, which is still a nice time. Losing a little time compared to his PB, but it's I think they equally had kind of the same kind of race. Like Dray is going to be looking at like a 108.30 or something around that area. So yeah, pretty much with equal mistakes, equal good faces. Pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah.
That was really close, like through night metro.
Oh yeah.
When they got the same wiggler.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
GG's. Well, that's actually really solid time still for Seth. If you think about how his early game went, like he was apparently 47 seconds behind in sand, so he really stepped up. He missed Snowdram once, but yeah, definitely solid runs still. Other than those.
Yeah, definitely.
Not getting that clip, but other than that, should be happy about that one. Dray ending his run with like a 108.21. I wasn't fully aware, but yeah.
We have information in chat that it is indeed a 55-second difference.
Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, I think so too. That was the closest race so far, probably.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Welcome, Dray. Welcome, Sefaro.
Hello, hold up.
Hello.
Good evening, guys. We just said it was probably, and I'm so yeah, like in terms of this tournament, the closest race we had so far. I don't know if you guys were aware. If you don't, you need to rewatch your Wiggler fight. For a second, we literally thought your stream. We were watching the same stream. You got this exact same Wiggler pattern at literally the exact same time.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, that looked crazy.
You were in sync, getting the same pattern.
Oh my god.
And I don't even know what the chances are. Like I've seen 10, at least 20 different patterns or something. That was nuts. But yeah, GG's to both of you. Closest race so far. Sefaro having a bit of issues in early game, Dray having a bit of issues later. But other than that, still solid showing, I think. Let's actually get like into some questions to you personally. Like, let's start with Dray. How would you think that run went? Like, what were the good parts? Anything special happening from your side?
Let me look through my splits. I felt like every split was going pretty bad until Lost. I thought Lost was okay. And I thought I caught my footing, and then Snow happened. Where I died like 3 times or 4 times, maybe? Something like that. Late game was okay, other than falling off mech and luncheon being a bit slow. I don't know. I think that sums it up. A lot of issues early game, a lot of issues in the mid game, and one big issue in the late game.
Yeah. But still, definitely solid for your time. Nothing to be like too sad about. Close performance, hype race to watch. You were literally synced. Night Metro is the place you definitely want to be rewatching. And yeah, Sefaro, for you, how did you feel about Sand?
First of all, worst run of my life. I'll be straight up. That Sand was just sad as hell. And then Lake just topped it off. Easily my worst early game I've ever gone in a while. So I think the big issue is that bullet bill thing. I tried to turn with it, but I guess my camera, I don't know what wrong, but like it didn't turn the way I wanted it to. So then like it ended up going all up over the place. I should have, like, looking back, I shouldn't have just like tried to get the bullet again. I could have just gotten notes after. But I was just like really tilted after that, so I didn't think about it.
Yeah, now I can totally understand when something like that happens. You can't really focus you can't really think about additional route ideas. When you are angry about yourself, basically, I completely understand that.
And another thing, I guess Snowdram, I did miss it, but honestly, that was an Eden input. I feel like that would have worked, but I just got my dive Eden. So like the second one was good. Course, I had the feeling of it, the rhythm and all.
Right. So, Sefaro, in the early game, were you feeling nervous? Is that why your early game was had some unfortunate moments, or were you feeling
maybe a little
pretty confident?
I wasn't that nervous. I don't know what's up with me. In races or tournament races, I always spaghetti in the early game. It's weird.
And Dray, how are you feeling about your nerves? Did you have them under control, or?
I felt pretty nervous after I missed left side. I was getting kind of scared, and then I think it calmed down after sand, or like during sand at some point.
Yeah, were you watching the race at all, like on the side?
No, I didn't see what Sefaro did at all.
Because that's like an interesting thing. I always wonder if that's a good choice or not, because obviously. It would have maybe helped you to see that Sefaro has some issues. So yeah, okay, I'm ahead. I'm kind of safe. Maybe it would have also gotten you nervous. I don't know. It's probably different on everyone's mentality. But still, guys, closest race we had so far. Really enjoyed it one. GG's. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for racing with us. Wall captures gotten. That's gonna be it for us for now. We will be hosting Heisenberger TV now. Thank you guys for watching. Follow Speedrun, follow the /Speedrun channel, follow the runners. Don't forget to follow the runners. And don't forget to follow the commentators. But anyways, see you guys on the next one and have a good day.
GG Sefaro.
GG.
GG's.